Imagine that you lived in a world where you had a solution or an explanation for that thing that was just too strange for your comprehension. The door that opened really was just the wind. That shadow passing along the wall really was a car. Or that whisper you heard was just a distant radio or TV that you just happened to pick up. These are your thoughts, at least until you see a ghost. Obsessors, oppressors, and possessors. It is I, your humble host, Alec McCann, and before you think this is a split screen, no, she's my beautiful wife.
Julia.
There we go. And Julia has come to us with another story, and this one's actually unique. She normally does Appalachian stories and stuff like that.
This is my favorite.
But she actually brings us two unique things today. One is a news update that she's been dying to share, and we'll get into that. And then the other is, well, Jules, you want to set it up while I look for this other story that you've written up?
It's what, I forgot. It's what made people believe in ghosts.
So we've got a full range of stories of first-hand ghost experiences for the first time, and I think that's actually quite exciting. From a bunch of skeptics. Also, if you're noticing, yes, we wanted to try and make a set. We had the one curtain, now we have a blanket with bats.
On Temu.
On Temu. So, we do have some fun things going on. But, I mentioned a news update, and it's not our news update. I like how my face disappears.
But
like
you're still going to read it.
Well, yeah, I'm still going to read it, but do you like how my face disappears? Like,
yeah.
Sorry.
You're too dark.
You're too dark.
You wish.
Ice is coming.
Not for me.
Anyway, so the impromptu story is got to do with Annabelle. Strange enough, with all the floods that are happening and all the terrible things that are going on in the country, there's also an incredibly infamous doll touring the country.
Yeah.
And a couple of the places that she toured did have some bad things happen, didn't it?
Yep.
Like that one plantation burned down.
She actually was in Texas at one point, not during the floods, but she was there.
And
her presence alone.
Correlation does not mean causation, but it is quite a coinkadink. But also another coinkadink. We've all heard about the infamous doll, the classic Raggedy Ann doll that the Warrens acquired in the 70s. You know, the doll was said to be possessed by a malevolent spirit pretending to be a little girl. No name is ever given to that spirit unless you watch the Annabelle stories, and then
I can't even remember what the name is.
I don't remember either. It's some name. But Ed and Lorraine personally documented the doll moving on its own, growling, causing harm to those who mocked it and mishandled it. The stories ended up becoming the cornerstone of the doll's enduring legend. And, you know, spawned multiple horror films and television appearances as well. So until recently, Annabelle's been in the Warrens Occult Museum, which actually was closed down due to zoning issues a few years back. But the New England Society for Psychic Research, or NESPEAR, not ASPEAR, but NESPEAR, if you remember last week's episode, which is now led by Tony Spera, who's Ed and Lorraine's son-in-law, who married Judy from the movies. I don't know if her actual name is Judy, but she married Judy from the movies.
Judy from the movies.
Judy from the movies. And began offering limited public viewings under strict conditions. And then due to years of public interest and in hopes of finding a new home for Annabelle, because eventually the Warrens' house was, it couldn't stay there. There's not.
Because people are crazy.
Yeah.
I'm all for haunted stuff, but don't bring me that doll.
We actually want it right here. Right behind us.
Nope.
Sitting
I
here.
don't want any dolls.
Staring at us.
Don't bring me Barbies, baby dolls, nothing.
So, some paranormal experts and religious figures have voiced concerns about Annabelle finding a new home with this tour. A Catholic demonologist from Texas said, "You don't treat something like Annabelle as a novelty. If you believe in its history, you understand the risks. If you don't, then you're provoking something you don't respect." And I get that.
Yeah.
Full-heartedly get that. Now, organizers have been careful to stress that all the events are handled with caution. The doll is encased, never touched, and always accompanied by protective prayers. They insist, and if you stay tuned into next week's story, you'll find out prayers don't really help you all the time. Next week's story is going to be great. I'm excited about it. Bible college. They insist that the security and spiritual protections are taken very seriously. But, is that enough? Has it been enough? The Devils on the Run tour launched in early May of 2025 at the West Virginia State Penitentiary. Oh, good.
Yeah, that was the first place they took her.
I can't wait to find out what happens around here. A multi-day lockdown with Annabelle, the event allowed visitors to participate in the overnight investigations and view the doll in person. It's been said that Annabelle was behaved enough at this venue to continue her road trip. Okay. People who did...
So, the penitentiary they closed after this, for touring and stuff like that, and they wouldn't tell anybody why. And so people were speculating that Annabelle was the cause of it.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and that's where I got that people were saying she was behaved enough to continue.
Oh.
But I believe they released why they shut the prison down, because it's being used in either a documentary or a movie or a TV series of a new Prison Break.
Oh, okay.
So.
Man, a new Prison Break? After the first season, I was like,
I only watched a couple episodes, and I liked what I watched, but then...
The first season's really good. After that, it's kind of like, okay, how many...
But I don't know if it's
And then they get out of the prison, and then they have to go back into... the whole show is prison after prison after prison.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's, something to do with that same show, or if it's something new.
Okay. Well, so nothing happened at the prison. So thank goodness the penitentiary was spared the evil of Annabelle.
I think they have enough evil there. She probably felt like home.
She was like, "Oh, I
you
missed
people.
you, suckers. I missed you. It's a wonderful day." Anyway, it may be the fact that Annabelle was keeping the spirits in line. Who knows? We have no clue whatsoever. I keep looking over here because this is where the picture is.
Oh.
I gotta be up here. So dumb. I'm so sorry I wasn't looking you directly in the face. We're in this together, guys. We're in this together. I made sure she clipped her nails before we started. See?
What do I eat during every episode?
I think that should be our thing.
That I always eat?
Why not? It explains why you don't talk.
That's true. I'd rather eat.
Anyway.
Sour gummies are my favorite.
You can't tell because we have it in black and white, but it's multicolored. I almost said multicultural. Anyway, so Annabelle then continued on through some other states, and rumors started to spread that at one point she either went missing or was stolen, which was likely originated from a tour where she was temporarily removed from her display case. However, I'm not sure why she was taken out of the case. Wait, so she wasn't stolen?
No, I don't know. Because, so when that happened, they had gotten in touch with Tony, I believe. And Tony was like, no, she's right here in this case behind me. But she wasn't, because she was on tour. So there's lies somewhere. But also, if she's not supposed to be removed from her case, I could not find any kind of reason on why she was temporarily removed and put into another case. Because that's what was done.
Then why did they say she like it was nationally reported that she was missing?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then they call him and he says she's back here.
Also some sketchiness going on with her. I don't know. I looked on multiple websites. I even looked like TikTok shorts of people who have been reporting on stuff, and they all are saying that he said she was there with him, but she wasn't.
Unless she popped in to say, hey, Papa Tony, Uncle Tony, I need some money. That gum is expensive out there. And I'm just a Raggedy Ann doll. I can do nothing. No, you didn't like that?
Raggedy Ann dolls are creepy. I had one when I was little, and I was scared of her.
That's probably fair. Raggedy Ann dolls probably are terrifyingly bad. Anyway, so Annabelle's actually been linked to incidents like being scratched by something unseen. A museum visitor allegedly mocked. Oh, this is the one that he had a motorcycle accident and he died.
Yeah.
His girlfriend didn't, but he did. Because his girlfriend was with him. He mocked her, said he didn't believe in her, tapped on the glass, went home, motorcycle locked up, he died. Now, during Annabelle's stay in New Orleans, a prison break happened at the New Orleans Justice Center. And in the same week she was displayed, 10 convicted murderers escaped. And before leaving, they reportedly left a handwritten note saying, "Too easy." That is just rude.
But supposedly, oh, that was sour. When she was with the people who had her, I guess, before the Warrens took her, random notes would be left.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Oh, I get it. So instead of the prisoners, maybe it was her?
Yeah, so I think they're using the notes as the correlation to her.
Okay, I got you.
Flicks.
Abuse.
No.
Oh man, that's Jacob again. I thought it was Oliver out there screaming. I know. I don't know why we have
That
him.
one tastes
No.
like dirt.
Anyway, just days later, a Louisiana plantation house, as we mentioned, that once had stood since the 1950s. Wait a minute. Since the 1950s? Are you sure that's supposed to be the 1950s? Because there was a lot of people really angry that like talking about how this slave house, and I don't think it was a slave house in the 1950s.
Was it ever a slave house?
I don't know. Might be something we might want to look up because those people might have been dumb then. And I like pointing out when someone's dumb, even if it's me. So I don't know that it was ever a playhouse.
A playhouse?
Or you're distracting me. You gotta stop texting. Oh, goodness. Slave house. Obviously not meant for any kind of good play. I'll say that.
That's offensive.
Oh, man. Oh. That child.
She said that's Oliver's hair.
Anyway, excuse my wife's ADHD. Um, so it stood either 1950s, 1850s. We don't know. We don't know. But it was
Try to look.
it was destroyed.
Does it matter?
No, please do, please do. I was just thinking, while we were talking about it. But anyway, so whenever it was destroyed by fire under unclear circumstances. Coincidence? Maybe so, or maybe it wasn't Annabelle at all. Maybe it was a demented cowboy space pirate who has whips in his little holsters called Big James T. And he burned it down because if it was a slave house, it was not his. Ah, man. He fits in everywhere, I'm telling you. Fits in everywhere.
Gracious.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Oh my gracious.
Now just have a plain white screen.
There we go. No, we don't know. We don't know the answer. But anyway, dolls have long believed to be carrying the spirits of anything, really. Dead people, entities from beyond the grave, entities that are not human. Sometimes they carry some unusual powdery spirits that sneak into the country and give rich people quite the robust energy for about an hour. Also known as Colombian Bam Bam. I made a joke! Anyway. Louisiana. Particularly when they're used as vessels in rituals or ceremonies that are supposed to draw a spirit in. In fact, when we say a doll is possessed, we don't mean that there is an actual entity inside the doll, but rather that the doll is being manipulated by an entity, just as any child would. Like you play with an action figure or something, it makes it do things.
Well, this says it was built in 1859, so I don't know where I got 1950s from.
I don't either. Was it a slave house though? That's the question. Well, Louisiana. Oh, go ahead. Was it a slave house? We just want to check our information. This is in live. The burned down was Nottoway Plantation, not Whitney Plantation. It was the site of production of sugar, and its destruction brought attention to history of slavery at the main mansion at Oak Alley was built by enslaved people. It was not the plantation that burned down. That didn't tell me anything. We don't know.
I think just because it was a plantation house.
Fair enough.
People, like they said, it brought up the history of slavery.
All right. Well, Annabelle's original owners believe that she moved on and, she left notes. Or she moved on her own and left notes, but the paranormal investigators confirmed that she is possessed by a demonic entity. Lorraine herself reported that she refused to look directly at the doll because of the evil it carried. But now, the longtime handler, the lead investigator for the New England Psychic Research, Army veteran, has suddenly died while on tour from the dolls. Oh my goodness. I got so off track because they came in.
I know you're not even reading what I typed.
I know. It's not your fault. It was the sudden disruption. Don't worry. You're good. You didn't disrupt anything. It was the fact that I noticed you. That's all. That's all it was. Anyway, so this guy, he's an Army vet. He's the lead investigator for these people, or he was. He's been taking the doll around the country. Well, he's dead. So Dan's cause of death has not been publicly disclosed that I know of, but there are no signs of foul play. I don't know how you would have signs of foul play when a demon kills you.
Right.
Crushed heart? Would it look like a Sith attack? Burnt lightning?
Or just like a heart attack, maybe?
Did he have a heart attack?
But with that story done, write in the comments. What do you think's going on? We know you're not going to write in the comments. Anyway, the only one that does is Kathy. And she is working on a story, by the way, that we have the first part, but we need the second part. And she's about to go through it. So check her out when we get that story up. And also, she was on a show recently. Oh, I just watched it. I want to say Milton Talks, but I think that's wrong. Mike Talks? Does that sound right?
I can't even remember.
Matt Talks?
I don't ever know.
Walt Talks?
Somebody talks.
I'm going to have to ask her. We watched it. It was good. He's a radio DJ. He was doing a podcast, told her he didn't believe in this stuff, and she did the dowsing rods like she did here. And it was a fun little interaction. They freaked out a little bit, and it was a little fun. Dan talks? Someone talks. I think it's Mike talks, but I don't know. I also think I might think that because of Mike Huge Johnson joke I made last time. So, whatever. Anyway, now let's jump into what made you believe in ghosts. Now, this first story comes from Party 18712. New York Avenue! Do you believe in ghosts? I didn't. Not until I started law enforcement. Oh, a cop. All right.
Can I just say I like that it's a cop and his name is Party 1?
Right. Party 1 Kenobi. Anyway, 15 years ago, or not until I started law enforcement 15 years ago, and it didn't take long before I had my first paranormal encounter on a call. Now, over the years, I've experienced quite a few strange occurrences, enough to inspire me to create a YouTube channel called Policing the Shadows. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll have to
check that out, where I share these stories along with those from fellow officers. Now, there was one call I went to, a death notification that really freaked me out. I had to contact some family members of a deceased woman that was involved in a fatal car crash a few miles away from her home. And when I arrived, I met a woman near the roadway just inside the property gate. She said she had heard me coming from miles away, and I asked her if she lived at the residence, which she confirmed she did. After asking her to speak to me, as the house at the house, she agreed. But she needed the walk, as the house was about 75 yards from the road. She needed the walk.
I don't know.
She needed to walk.
But I don't know why.
Why wouldn't you just let her in your car?
I
No.
don't know. I didn't understand that either.
After making it to the house, I approached the front door on a small wooden porch and began scanning the driveway for the woman. Now it's about 1 a.m., completely dark, and while I'm looking for the woman, the front door opened and a younger woman appeared. She was concerned about my presence and asked if everything was okay. I asked if I could speak with her and any other adult inside, and she welcomed me in. That's, first of all, you don't let a cop in. I'm sorry, I know we probably have some cop listeners. I respect you for your job, but you don't let a cop in. Come on. They're just looking, sometimes they're just looking for trouble.
On the porch.
Yeah, we can talk on the porch. It's
Because
cool.
my dog might bite you.
Yeah, you never know.
For
And
real.
and I don't need him. He looked like he was gonna bite that one dude. Like he was not. His face was all angry.
I heard him bark.
He was not cool.
Yeah.
He was not cool with that dude. Now, after he makes it to the house, he talks to these people. He goes inside. After entering the home, I told her and her husband the news. Oh, wait. What? She was concerned about my presence, asked. I told her I would wait for the woman I met near the gate, and she told me nobody else would be home, or should be home. I then freaked out and began searching the property, and there was nothing. After entering the home, I told her and her husband the news about, let's call her Susan, which ended up being her mother. She said her mother moved in a few months back after her father had passed away and wasn't handling it well. While she and her husband were comforting one another, I began looking at the photo on the wall. There was a picture of a mid-aged woman that I spoke with near the gate. And while looking at the picture, the daughter confirmed that it was her mother, the woman who had passed in the wreck. I spoke with the ghost of the individual that died in the crash just before telling her family what had happened. It's interesting to note that a lot of people are hesitant to discuss their experiences. They often fear being seen as weird or dismissed. And that's the end of his story. That wasn't me saying that. We will. Don't.
Somebody will.
Certainly don't write to ghostedinwv@gmail.com to give us your ghost stories. We will call the cops for being haunted. You will get arrested. Don't do it. Don't email us. Don't give us those stories. You don't want to give us those stories. Maybe we just don't have, out of the 170 some people we have listening, maybe we don't have maybe not one ghost story.
Right?
Not one ghost story can be emailed to us, huh?
Nope. No, sir.
We're probably taking a too aggressive tone here. We're just having fun. We love you guys. We're just joking. You know, you haven't sent us, we've been telling, you haven't sent us any emails or any comments. So,
And y'all said you would.
well, they didn't say it. We just kind of implied it, that it was the only way we were going to keep going. So this next story is Just Think Twice. Now, my mom had some bizarre experiences as a kid in one particular house. She always told me the stories stories and sparked my enthusiasm for the paranormal. And I've always believed. You're not a skeptic then. One time going into her kitchen, she practically ran into an old woman. I didn't put my arm around you to indicate an old woman, by the way.
No?
No, I just felt bad because I'm leaning forward and you're out of the way, just in the background, and I don't want you to be a background, so I'm going to push you in.
You're always front and center.
Well, I'm the
You
one
make
that
sure
talks.
of it.
I do not make
You
sure of it.
do.
Look, I'll do this. I'll tell the story from over here.
No, quit it.
I can't see.
I'm not a front and center person.
Uh,
I'm the background.
You're not the background in my world, I'll tell you that. You know, why don't we put this on pause and just try. You know, we're getting, she's in her 40s, you know, we gotta work at the best we can. So she is going
There's
into
an audience
I
that
know.
you've made uncomfortable.
Well, he was already red. So you can't count that. And poor Jacob's over there. He's just thinking, what? They do what? They do what? Yeah.
They talk about finances.
Right. They talk about finances. We do a lot of talking about finances. With the door closed and a sock in the hole. Anyway, so she's going into her kitchen and she practically runs into an old woman, like grandma status, with an apron on and her hair in a bun, smiling and holding out a tray of cookies to her before she disappeared.
Well, that would be the best ghost ever.
I'm not taking those cookies. Those cookies are straight from hell. Those are hell cookies. I eat the cookie, Satan gets my soul. That's what that is. You never know. Why is she smiling? She's dead. What's she got to be happy about?
She's dead.
She's making... There we go. There's that dark humor.
Awful state of the world we're in.
Anyway, she also says that there was a spirit of a younger girl that hid in her closet and would brush her hand on the metal hangers just to make them jingle, not jiggle. She's got some real loose hangers. They don't hold much. In fact, they often make the clothes fall off the floor or fall onto the floor. They fall off the floor. Now, it creeped her out so badly that she wanted to make eye contact. Or she wanted to make contact, not eye contact. She wasn't like, I'm going to go look this ghost in the face. No, she wanted to make contact so she would talk to her. You know, she says after months of trying, she sort of coaxed the girl out. The closet would barely open, and a few seconds later, there'd be an impression on her bed as if someone was sitting there. And she says she never saw the girl, but sensed that it was a young female. She used to talk to her about, she used to talk about her day to the girl, even though she still gave her the creeps, and she refused to have the metal hangers as an adult. Now, if one came from the dry cleaners or somewhere else, she would lose it. I don't know if she would like lose it.
It says toss it.
Oh, I thought it said lose it. I might need glasses, man.
Maybe.
I might. Let me see if I can. Can I? Oh, I can. Yeah. Oh, I forgot I could do that. I'm dumb. Anyway, this next story is from Petal Potions. Oh, Petal Potions. Oh, I was thinking like some sort of douche product.
Ew.
Because of petals, you know. Flowers.
What was that noise?
That was my ear.
Oh,
They probably couldn't hear it.
they did.
Seeing a little girl in my old apartment, I started hearing whispering voices.
That one whole sentence.
Well, no, it was a comma. I just thought it was a sentence. I started hearing whispering because I don't know how to read. I started hearing whispering voices.
Feet because of Max. Sorry.
Max is our dog. He's under the table and he sucks.
He's always.
Actually, he's good. He's a good
He's
dog.
a good boy, but he's always at my feet.
He doesn't have anywhere else to be. The spirit said, oh, I'm sorry. I started hearing whispering voices in the corner of my little room when I was a kid. First of all, if you hear voices from a corner, Blair Witch told me you get in the corner. Wherever you hear the voices, that's where you need to face until daytime. And don't let her trick you and make you think you need to be standing there until you're almost dead, asleep, and then bam, sunshine. Okay, time to leave. That's how you beat the Blair Witch, I think. Now, I would talk back to the voice, and I asked it all kinds of questions. You know, the spirit said she was a little girl who died of an illness when she was very young. And then one day, I asked her to show herself, and she did. And I saw a purple, misty energy start to form in the corner of my room. And I absolutely bolted into the living room because now I was scared. Well, you're a jerk.
You think?
I watched it float down the hallway and over the wall beside me before dissipating into the little shadow of a little girl with pigtails and a frilly dress. She looked like someone from the 1800s. I called my mom to pick me up because I was home alone. I was 12 and the purple mist followed me around the whole day. We moved out of that apartment. And a year later, we moved out of that apartment about a year later. I thought that said and. But not before I felt my hair being tugged at several times by something I couldn't see.
That's because you were rude. You made
Yeah,
her
show yourself and then you ran. It's like
You don't do that.
It's like asking your wife, let me see what you look like under that veil, sweetie, if you're from the Middle East. And then you see it and she's got like nothing but like, you ever seen those teeth commercials where they're thanking the doctor for their new teeth and they show you the before and the
Ew,
pictures
yeah.
are like their teeth are going in every direction. And then you run away. Like, you asked for this, dude. You said, lower your veil. He said, let me see you. And it was a pretty purple. And he was like, no, I don't like petal potions. Now, I think she realized that I was scared because I stopped hearing the voice after that whole encounter. Now I live in a house and things happen here all the time. Crystals are, well, that's your first problem. You think a rock's gonna save you. A rock. She used to think the same thing. It drove me insane. drove me. Do you remember when you had all those crystals just everywhere? It was driving me. They're
Yeah.
pretty. They're pretty, but it's like, what do you think you're doing? She used to put rocks in water.
Now they're all
In the full moon.
trash somewhere.
Well, no, they're probably still around,
Oh
but
no, I threw a bunch of them away.
all right. Well,
Anytime I come across my old witchcraft stuff, in the trash it goes.
well,
Or if it's winter, it goes into the wood stove.
fair enough. You probably keep the rocks. They're just rocks. The only special rock that's ever been recorded is the one that went right through the dude's face when he was a giant.
Oh.
And we don't even, giant. Anyway, I'm very skeptical on psychics and magical rocks. That's even Harry Potter didn't have magical rocks. Oh, wait. The Sorcerer's Stone. Dang it! I was wrong!
Next month, Harry Potter is coming out with
I can't imagine that's going to be good. What are they going to do? Bards?
No, they're actually famous.
They're actual flavors.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell me later.
Okay.
So crystals are knocked off my shelves with force. I've heard someone say hello hello there, right beside me when no one was home, homie.
Cauldron cake and peppermint toad.
I did tell her she didn't have to tell me right now. I
They
needed to
needed to
know. They were probably like, hey man, don't tell her what to do. Now, we moved out of the apartment. Oh wait, we already moved out of the apartment. He just heard Obi-Wan Kenobi talk to him. So, why did he stand up like he was about to fight? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you standing over your brother like he owes you money? Like he just called your mom the worst name in the world. Why are your shorts so dirty? Anyway, I've heard I'm talking to the one that crapped his shorts on the show. If you remember the Trucker Horror Stories just a few years back,
Many moons ago.
just a few years back, he pooped his shorts, and now he's wearing dirty shorts. I mean, it's perfect. I've heard a female voice say, "Are you comfortable, Parky?" My name is Parker, Peter Parker, in fact, and I've heard a male voice making grunting noises. Oh, you're haunted by Tim the Toolman Taylor? That's terrible. So yeah, whenever someone asks if I believe in the paranormal, my answer is always yes. But this one is especially for Alec. Is this a psychic? Is this a psychic story? All right.
It's not very long. You're welcome.
My great aunt was a very well known Melbourne psychic medium in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. I guarantee you she wouldn't have been had Houdini had his way with her. All right, Houdini was going around and showing all the psychics as phonies, just as phonies. Jacob, stop laying on your cousin. Jacob, stop that. Excuse me, I have to go parent. Hey guys, we're back. If you're like, that wasn't much of a cut, you're right. It wasn't much of a cut. It was just a kind of deal.
We're going on a walk after this.
Yes, now we're going on a walk after. They're going on a walk after this. No, I've got a lot to do. I've got that book I'm writing and the stories that I'm writing and. You don't have nothing to do. You're a wife. You're supposed to manage the house.
First of all, do you see this point that comes out? They managing shit. Please and thank you.
My mom told me.
Not to marry me.
Actually, she did not tell me. She told me she was happy for me.
I'm kidding on that too.
I tell you what. Anyway, my mom told me many things about her, and
We weren't talking about you actually. Never mind.
Oh, you thought I was just...
Gonna tell us a story about your mom.
No, I was looking to get the episode going. Anyway, my mom told me many things about her great aunt. And she would, she sat in, watched her craft. The Russell Street police station in Melbourne would arrest her for... Hold on. You did bring me a good story. Okay, I'm going to redo this because I had to stop it. It's not going to be... So, I'm going to do this story. It's by Miss Iffy 45. My great aunt was a very well-known Melbourne psychic medium back in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. My mom told me many different things about her and sat in and watched her craft. The Russell Street police station in Melbourne would arrest her for fraud, and then other times they'd bring her in to solve murders. My mom always seen ghosts / spirits since she was a little girl, and I have experienced these things myself as well. Now, before you're like, I'm sorry, your mom did what? She's seen. She's seen. She's seen and saw spirits. Oh, wait, hold on. Melbourne.
I don't know if that's Melbourne, Australia, or Florida. Nothing was specified.
My mom always seen. That's Florida. There's no way. Could you imagine? Crikey! My mom always seen. That sounds terrible. No Australians are what? Huh? No, crikey is not from Mexico.
Australian.
So it's specifically Steve Irwin.
Talking about Gracky?
No, crikey, meaning it's like, whoa, Jiminy Crickets, that kind of deal. I've tried to teach them our pop culture. They just don't get it. They don't get it. They don't like Croc Files. They don't like the Crocodile Hunter, even though he was a national treasure for the world. They don't like him.
They only like TikTok.
In real life, I'm the crass one. In real life, what you are getting here, I don't get on a normal basis. Like, you're getting something special. Let me tell you what.
Trying to be better.
On the show?
In real life.
All right. Now, this next story is written by Aquarius Rising. Because why not? Jacob, we'll go on a walk, man, but I'm not going to deal with this impatience. Now, I will parent you in front of all these people because they don't know where I live. All right? So you can either calm down or you can be bored the rest of the night because you won't go anywhere but a wall.
A where?
A wall. I wanted to say in the corner, but then I don't know what happened. Either way, I'll parent you. I'll parent the heck out of you, and you won't even remember what happened. That's how much parenting I'll do to you. So Aquarius Rising, 1983, born a year after you. I love how many times I slip in that you're 40 into a conversation. Oh, it's got to be hard on the hips. Now, when I was 8 years old, my family moved into a new house, and a new car, and a new street, with a new window. Now, I had numerous experiences there growing up, but the first one still sticks out in my mind as something I am positive I experienced, but cannot explain in any non-paranormal way. We had been living there just over a year, and it was a couple of months before my 10th birthday. Nothing too bad, nothing terrible. Up until this point, it had always been just a weird feeling, maybe of being watched or something, but you put something down in one spot, it shows up somewhere else. Just that kind of thing.
Like when my keys were in the washing machine.
Yes. But then one night I had been asleep when I was awoken by the sound of a man and a woman arguing loudly, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, I hope Mom and Dad didn't find my report card. No, actually what she was thinking was that she heard the dishes breaking and what sounded like a door opening or rather slamming and cabinet slamming. Just a huge ruckus. Now, my parents weren't the kind to have a big knockdown, drag-out fight like this. When they did argue, they'd go to my dad's office at the far end of the house. And being a kid, I decided I was going to get a drink of water and see what was going on and find out if I needed to bust some heads at 10 years old.
Some kneecaps.
He said, I can smell what the rock is cooking. When I got out of bed, I left my bedroom, headed down the stairs towards the family room, and as I walked down the hall, the sounds got louder. I wish I could remember anything that was being said, but I was young and tired, so I just remembered distinctly a man and woman's voice. Now, I could see that the lights were off in the family room, which was odd if they were still up. I didn't think much of it, though. I stepped into the family room, which is attached to the kitchen, and I could still hear yelling. I turned on the light, and it instantly stopped, as if I had interrupted their business. My goodness. I'm going to have to break some children's hands because they keep throwing trash around my house. That's not part of the story. That's just real life. That's real life.
Being a good boy.
Now, I was confused, but from where I could see the kitchen, it was dark and there was no one in there. So I still walked over and peeked into my dad's office, but just to be sure, but it was dark and quiet there as well. Shaken and confused, I got my glass of water. I'm still thirsty. And I headed back down the hall to my room. My parents' bedroom was at the very end of the hall, so before going to bed, I tiptoed and peeked into their door.
And Ninja kicked it open.
I saw them asleep, so I snuck into my room. I saw my parents just lying there, barely clothed. I crept up, nice and easy. I could see the sweats glistening off their skin. And I reached my hand out into the darkness. And I felt my mama's pocketbook and $10 from them. And I backed out slowly. You thought I was going somewhere gross, didn't you? No, just theft. Now, they both were asleep, snoring, and I felt like, I remember it felt like all the hair on my body fell off. No, it stood on end. And I ran back to my room and jumped into bed. And that was the first truly unexplained experience I had in that house. Now, I was 30 years ago now. I was 30 years ago now. And I still remember that feeling when I realized that there's no way my parents could have been in the kitchen yelling, or in the yelling kitchen. They couldn't be in the yelling kitchen. That's how I read it at first in my head. Oh, nice alliteration. Helga Phoebe, which is our next author. There have been so many incidents, but I'll share my first experience as a kid. My family lived in an old house that had creepy vibes. When we moved in, I felt uneasy. One day, my mom was home alone doing laundry in the basement. The laundry the laundry area was in a separate room with a door. Now, at some point, she looked over at the open door and saw an elderly man walk past while looking at her. No, and even if he was alive, sir, I'm about to teach you what it means to be geriatric with a broken hip. Don't come through looking at me. This is my house. That's my laundry. Ain't nothing in here for you. Skid marks and all. Nothing. Now, at some point, she knew that it was a ghost because he just disappeared. Another time, I woke up and found cigarette burns on my arm. I think that's a CPS case. I don't know. My sister started experiencing panic attacks when we lived in that house. This mom might be rotten. Cigarette burns? Come on. She didn't feel them? Like, if you didn't feel them, all right, it's a ghost. But if you felt them, that's your mom and you got some faulty memories. Which is okay, you know. Studies show consistently that eyewitness testimony is the worst. Because people have memory problems because they will create a situation in their head or convince themselves that they see something. I don't know what she's doing, really. It's probably the wrong time to look for socks. Now she had never had them before, and she still suffers from them occasionally today. I found my pet rabbit dead in its cage in the basement. I don't remember the explanation that was given, but I always believed it was suspicious considering the spooky environment that we lived in. I remember the neighborhood kids mentioned that the house was haunted. I vaguely remember them saying someone died in it, but at the time I was skeptical because I thought they were just trying to scare me. They were a bunch of racist bullies, so I never asked for any more details. Are you okay? Did you cut yourself?
Lego.
Oh, the Legos. They're the worst. They're the worst. This next story comes to us. Hold on, let me see what we're dealing with in terms of pages that we are on. Is there a way to see that? Will it not show me? Will it not show me without me cutting it off? It's not letting me. See. Oh, wait. I know what to do. Hold on. All right, so this is actually our last story. It comes from No Slick Name. Our kids are teenagers now.
Not ours. Almost.
One of them is already a teen. He was a teenager 3 years ago. Our kids are teenagers now, not a sign of anything otherworldly in years. But when each was very young, roughly birth to 6 months, we would occasionally have unexplained experiences. Most notably, husband was in the bathroom in the middle of the night. Thinks he sees me pass the door. The light turns on in the nursery, finishes up, comes to see if I need anything, only to find the room empty, but for our very excited baby. Toys would sometimes make music while on the shelf, even after batteries had been removed. One time a toy said something not in its program. Baby monitors would flash red, which typically meant crying, but there was no sound coming from the room. Lots of walking into the nursery and feeling like someone was there, like you weren't alone. But no better explanation. It wasn't every day. Nothing but happened with each child. I don't know that I want to end on this one. This dude.
You just didn't read it right.
No, I read it just fine. It wasn't
an everyday thing, but happened with each child.
Oh. So I'm dumb.
Yeah.
I'm dumb. So after the light incident, my husband woke me up and I went in and spoke to the empty room like a total weirdo and asked whoever it was visiting to please be mindful of the others living in the house and try not to scare us. A woman in an online forum my mom belongs to reached out to her unprompted and said, "Tell your daughter that a group of females bound to our child were visiting." Oh, bound to your child were visiting. I was about to be like, and you tell that person, this is my child and she's a creep. But it was kind of like visiting a friend that moved in. I've always believed in something more after death, but never really thought about it being male or female in spirit form, so that's always stuck with me. And that is the end of our episode, ladies and gentlemen. I hope it thrilled you a little, chilled you a little. What? What are you doing here? What? If you're here, I can see the fucking bunny. So if you're here, who's got salty garlic? Ladies and gentlemen.
You never say bad words, dear.
Salty. I'm quite angry. Salty garlic. Salty garlic is on the loose. You have to curl up your feet. You're fired. You can get right on out. There's the door. She's out. Curl your feet up. I imagine she hasn't been fed in days. He is incompetent. Thank you, and have a pleasant evening.